Shocking news for Formula One fans. Out of nowhere, silly season for 2025 has started as Lewis Hamilton is on the brink of joining Charles Leclerc at Ferrari for 2025. According to reliable sources, the Lewis Hamilton-to-Ferrari Formula One contract for 2025 has already been agreed upon. What is happening at the moment and how has this all developed? We'll fill you in. If it is confirmed, this will mean that Lewis Hamilton will replace Carlos Sainz at Maranello starting next year. And this change is expected to be confirmed in the next days. But with all the news leaking, it could be confirmed within a matter of hours. Will we really see Hamilton driving for the prancing horses next year? Let us know if you'd like to see Hamilton racing for Ferrari in the comments down below right now. Done? Let's get on with the video. If the change becomes reality, it will mark the end of an unparalleled partnership between Hamilton and Mercedes. The 2024 season will be Hamilton's 12th with AMG Mercedes F1, and he has spent all 17 seasons in F1 with Mercedes power. Although he just extended his contract with Mercedes for 2 years, it appears that the second year was an option for Hamilton, allowing him to accept the offers of Ferrari's company boss, John Elkann. Hamilton has previously suggested that a spell at Ferrari would be a fitting way to end his career, especially because his childhood hero Ayrton Senna meant to do the same before his accident. But Hamilton has subsequently said that he lately has intended to stay with Mercedes until retirement. Is this even possible though? Well, in Formula One everything is possible. Just look at the Oscar Piastri saga only over a year ago. If Lewis joins, it will mean that Sainz will be leaving, as Sainz's contract with Ferrari expires at the end of this year, which will be his 4th season there. During his time at the Scuderia, he has won 2 Grand Prix and been an effective teammate to Leclerc, whose contract was recently extended for several years. A Hamilton-Leclerc pairing at Ferrari is an interesting one for F1, especially after an off-season in which no driver moved teams. However, it is a risky decision for Hamilton in terms of competitiveness, with questions surrounding Ferrari's capacity to compete with Red Bull and being assessed at 40 years old directly against Leclerc, who is often touted as possibly the sport's fastest driver over a single lap. And although it is unclear whether a definitive deal has been inked, is it said that discussions are more than advanced. Even the most reliable sources close to Ferrari are saying the deal is as good as done. And as we all know all too well, Ferrari has long been interested in Hamilton's services, but its prior approaches have been turned down because the 7-time champion believes Mercedes offered a better path to success. However, following 2 hard seasons for Mercedes, it looks like Ferrari is on the verge of convincing Hamilton that it is a superior option for the future. For now, both Ferrari and Mercedes declined to comment on the matter, which means that something is truly going on. If Hamilton's move is confirmed, it will be a significant blow to Mercedes, which had extensive contract discussions with him last year to guarantee his services for this year. Speaking shortly after the Mercedes agreement for 2024 and 2025 was completed, Hamilton expressed confidence that Mercedes had learnt from its hard 2022 and 2023 seasons, and would have a chance to return to glory with its all-new car for this season. When asked at last year's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix if he ever doubted his chances of returning to the front, he said, "No, not when we were doing negotiations. I do have faith that we will get there. We have been here before as a team. And while we have more and more new people, we still have a great values. I see great focus within everyone." He added, "I think for this year 2023, they thought the fundamentals were good and we just have to go here, and it's not the case. That's why I was frustrated in February, because they hadn't made the changes I'd asked for. But with the changes we are making, I hope we are right, and yeah, but I guess we have no idea what the Red Bulls are going to do." It is unknown what triggered Hamilton's probable change of heart over his commitment to Mercedes, where he had supposed to finish his Formula One career. Especially since the early signs from the Mercedes wind tunnel point to the new W15 being a positive step forward for the squad, and the German manufacturer recently announced that team head Toto Wolff and technical director James Allison have extended their jobs indefinitely. But the leaked signs would have been smokescreens, as it has appeared that the W15 is still a second of the expected pace for the upcoming season. This has probably prompted Hamilton to rethink his decision, and with his contract for 2025 only being viable if Hamilton decides so, he could do whatever he wants for the 2025 season. And the early signs of the W15 seem to have sped up the discussions with Ferrari for the Hamilton camp. This had to be won fast, as Hamilton has recently turned 39. This means that time is running out if he wants to accomplish an F1 driver dream by joining Ferrari, even if the Italian team isn't necessarily better positioned to offer him a record-breaking 8 world titles. If he accepts that Red Bull is too far ahead to be caught by any opponent in the near future, the emotional pull of the prancing horse may have been enough of a motivation to relocate. Certainly, Ferrari CEO Elkann has never hidden his affection for Hamilton. Pulling off that deal would be a big achievement for him and Ferrari, increasing its attractiveness and assisting team head Fred Vasseur in his ongoing recruiting push to rebuild the depleted technical staff. The contract status of current Ferrari driver Carlos Sainz would also match with Hamilton's transfer to Ferrari. The Spaniard's contract expires at the end of the current season, and he has stated that he would want to have his future resolved before the next season begins. That is a luxury that Leclerc currently possesses, but Sainz does not. Talks have lingered on. Sainz, who had performed well against Leclerc throughout their 3 seasons together, was thought to be in a good position to negotiate a better wage and a preferred 2-year term. The driver's desire for these significantly enhanced terms was thought to be driving the delays in a contract announcement. However, Ferrari seemed to already have set its sights on another fantastic prospect, now that Hamilton seemed to be in for a new drive. What is even more telling is the fact that Frederic Vasseur had set a target of completing driver renewals by the start of the season, but discussions began later than intended. The arrangement with Charles Leclerc was just made public, while the one with Carlos Sainz has lagged. And the reason for this is thus Lewis Hamilton. The Scuderia management is keen to back the Englishman, bringing a multiple world champion back to Maranello following Sebastian Vettel's departure. This is only possible because the 7-time world champion had extended his record contract with Mercedes by 1 season, with an additional option. This would lead him to the idea of breaking out and donning the red racing suit. Talks were occurred directly with Ferrari president John Elkann, which would have expedited what looks to be a planned departure. Lewis also talked to Fred Vasseur regularly during the last season, with Vasseur stating, "I talk to Lewis every week, but if I were to hire him every time I hear from him." Team principal Fred Vasseur has previously worked with Lewis Hamilton in the lower formulas. If all goes well, we might witness this thunderous and merciless statement in the coming days, confirming the team principal's initial intention and outlining the future lineup before the start of the new season. What are your thoughts? Could this move really happen? And will this be the biggest move ever in the history of Formula One? And maybe an even more important question, could Hamilton fulfill his dream of driving for Ferrari and becoming an 8-time world champion at the same time? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. We can't wait to see what happens, and if Hamilton does join Ferrari in 2025, we'll be treated to an amazing silly season this year.